After the most satisfying 5-hour hate watching session on Sunday, with Liverpool and Arsenal both losing at home, it's now time for another 90 minutes of hair pulling frustration. Chelsea host Everton at Stamford Bridge on Monday night, with both teams desperate for the 3 points. It promises to be an exciting one, with all three results almost equally on the cards. Welcome back to Venki Ball, your home for previews, reviews, tactical insights, and general football discussions. If you like the content you see here, please slap a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I do plan to start covering European football as a whole, so stick around for that in the time to come. Both Chelsea and Everton need the points tonight, but for very different reasons. For Mauricio Pochettino's men, a top 6 finish is still possible. We're currently in ninth, but have at least 2 games in hand over the teams above us. Maximum points from those will see us go level on points with Newcastle in 6th. With Manchester United and West Ham both dropping points this weekend, the motivation to win tonight should be high. We are, however, coming off one of our worst performances of the season, away at bottom side Sheffield United. There was so much that went wrong that day that I did a whole video on it, and shall link the same to the description. Everton have had an eventful season, being docked a total of 8 points for breaching financial fair play rules. Despite this, their future in the Premier League is still very much in their own hands. Currently at 16th, the Toffees play 3 of the 4 teams below them in the remaining matches against Nottingham Forest, Luton Town, and Sheffield United. They travel to the Emirates on the final day of the season, but Sean Dyche will want to have guaranteed safety by then. Chelsea games recently, with all the ups and downs, have been extremely entertaining. We have conceded at least 2 goals in each of our last 7 games in all competitions, but have remained unbeaten nevertheless. Incredibly, we are the first top flight team to both score and concede 2 or more goals in 7 successive games, since Aston Villa back in 1930. Yes, that was 94 years ago. In the Premier League, we are unbeaten since the beginning of February, when we were trounced 4-2 by Wolves at Stamford Bridge. We have only kept one clean sheet in the league in 2024 so far, in a 1-0 win over Fulham back in January, in what was our first league match of the calendar year. Everton, on the other hand, have won just one Premier League game in 2024 so far, but that was their most recent one, a 1-0 success against Dyche's former side Burnley at Goodison Park last weekend. The last time they won away from home was in mid December, also against Burnley. In the reverse fixture on Merseyside back in December, it was Everton that came out on top, winning 2-0 thanks to goals from Abdoulaye Doucouré and Lewis Dobbin. It was a very familiar story for Chelsea, as we had over 70% of the possession that day, but didn't create any clear goal scoring chances. The Toffees have won only one such Stamford Bridge in the Premier League era, and that was back in November 1994, when Paul Rideout headed in an Anders Limpar cross past Dimitri Kharin in the Chelsea goal to seal a 1-0 win. The last time they did the league double over us? 45 years ago, in the 1978-79 campaign. Here is the team news for both sides ahead of the game. Chelsea have two fresh injury concerns, with Enzo Fernandez and Axel Disasi picking up knocks at Bramall Lane last week. Malo Gusto, however, is in line to return to the starting lineup. This is what I think our best lineup would be under the circumstances. Ben Chilwell could be available once again, but he hasn't exactly staked a claim with his recent performances to immediately replace Cucurella. With Disasi out, Benoit Badiashile is also an option, but the Frenchman has looked completely out of sorts this season. With Enzo absent, Gallagher thankfully won't be in an advanced role and will start in the double pivot alongside Caicedo. Yes, Nani Madueke is a notable absentee in favor of Kani Chukwuemeka, but more on that later. For Everton, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a doubt, and both Arnaud Danjuma and Lewis Dobbin are out injured. This could see Beto starting up front. The Portuguese striker has been well below par since his £25 million move from Udinese last summer, scoring only 3 league goals. Here is something interesting from his Wikipedia page, however. Doesn't he sound exactly like the character who will definitely score against us? Let's now take a look at how the game could pan out. It's a 4-2-3-1 versus a 4-4-1-1 on paper, but this might be closer to how things look on the pitch. Chelsea will dominate possession, and it will be upon us to find gaps in a well drilled and disciplined Everton outfit. With Gusto starting and bombing up the flank to provide width, playing Palmer on the right instead of Madueke makes more sense in my opinion. Palmer will tuck into the right half space and combine with the fullback at every possible opportunity. Chukwuemeka will do likewise with Mudrik on the left, with Cucurella being the third centre back in build up. Whatever the setup, our intensity and urgency must improve multifold from our last game at Sheffield United. Else, it'll be another game where we see a lot of the ball but do nothing of note, and ultimately get done by a lapse of concentration on a stray counter attack. We have seen this several times this season already, against the likes of Nottingham Forest and Brentford at Stamford Bridge, and even in the reverse fixture against Everton. It's not an easy job predicting a Chelsea game this season, as any bold and confident statement in the Blues' favour could very well see me end up with egg on my face. However, that also gives me the license to predict the outrageous. Just give us some entertainment on a boring Monday night, man. Chelsea 4, Everton 2.